Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here today. I'm very lucky, and I want that to be a part of my speech and my talk today. And I want to start with saying I always feel lucky whenever I have an achievement or there is an improvement, any impact that I could see coming from any action that I take. I feel like I'm very lucky. I don't usually take the credit. Sorry. I don't usually take the credit personally, not only as a team even. Still, I have the same feeling when I look at myself and my impact as a team. Again, I feel like I'm very lucky. Why? Because I have this belief sometimes that I believe in 100% determinism. 5 years ago, I started Ovania, my first AI company. We took it from a team of 3 to 20 active and full-time employees with having more than 100, 200 people actively working for us in part-time in different projects, helping government, helping businesses. And still, again, I feel I'm lucky. Why? Because when I go back and look at my life, I see, for example, there were a lot of positive influence on me personally from my father, from my uncles, from my family, from the society that I was growing in and through. If it wasn't, for example, my father's background and influence and his knowledge in language and his taking language, Kurdish language, seriously, I wouldn't have developed the first Kurdish OCR. That was, for example, something coming from there, and it wasn't some inner intuition that I had out of nowhere. It was growing inside of me day by day as I was growing. Same for different activities and initiatives that I took in my life. If it wasn't my family's connections or network that we had, and I couldn't see, for example, things were more possible for me to achieve or do or to reach out, I wouldn't have decided some stuff that I took personally again. So this belief that I have in full 100% determinism is that we say everything that we have today on personal level and as a community and as a society, as a nation, as the whole world, everything was determined by the actions, events that happened before us. The things that happened yesterday have decide and dictate what is happening today. The things that happened in the beginning of the existence, again, everything is in a sequential and collective way is impacting the next actions and sequences. And you might say, what does it have to do with AI, and where are we leading to after this conversation? I want to say it's true, and it's, again, reliable and relevant to AI itself. When we talk about AI, and on my first-hand experience, when we develop AI solutions, we follow the same thing. AI is not a magic. You don't develop something completely new. The structure, the infrastructure of it, the brain itself, that if we want to name it, or that intelligence model relies on data. And all that data is not something new. It's something that we already had. It's the past. It's our history. It's the current state that we are dealing with. An AI only learns from what we already have, whether it's a past experience from archives, from our previous experiences or behaviors, or anything that we today decide that the AI should act this way. It's not something that belongs to future. The AI is a futuristic thing. We say AI is the future, but the foundation of that AI, the knowledge, is the past. It's something that starts from the current state and goes only to the past, and it relies on the past. In our experience, when we started developing the first Kurdish OCR back in 5 years ago, ago, there were no alternatives and no solutions that could replace our OCR. OCR is the technology that extracts text from image, and almost in all the talks and seminars that I have given before, I go back to the OCR because it was a unique experience that we had, and it led to what we have achieved today. When we started OCR, no other solution could do and achieve what we wanted to do. So we had to start over, start building the AI from the very scratch, and building the brain itself, building the model itself, every neuron, every layer, customized from everything from scratch locally. And then it wasn't like, it didn't took maybe a year or two that Google released an update on its Tesseract that Kurdish language was added, and it was much easier to train. And what we did within a year, it would have been possible within days or months to be done again. You could update Kurdish language or for a different font or a different accent within weeks, that it took us a year or two to get the same results. What we learned from that was the whole every company, the major players in AI development are catching up much faster than we expect. We can't keep up with the pace. But what we have, and what's the difference, is that they have the technology, they have the models, they have the AI, and the time is gone that we look at AI as something that we could be, again, the active participants of building the whole foundation. And maybe we still have some space for that, but what is more important if you want to be very impactful and very realistic with your reality and the conditions, it's to take care of the data. And by data, like if we didn't have the problem with with a unified keyboard and text in Kurdish and even sometimes in Arabic, the general AI models that we have right now would have been much better in Kurdish. But you had inconsistency with keyboard in Kurdish, like there were fonts that are not standard and the AI wasn't learning anything from them. If, for example, half of your online text wasn't like that, the AI models would have been better in Kurdish today. So your past, or in another definition, your data was not good. The AI results won't be as good as you expect them. Controlling the data and structuring them and designing them in a way that we want to rethink about the data aspect of the whole process would be a game changer when we think about AI. Most of us, when we talk about AI, is right away hire AI engineers, develop AI, and we don't think about the data part of it, that every individual here in any field can contribute to it. If you're a psychologist, you can collect data in a way that might be personalized to your society and your reality. What is true, for example, for a society in Iraq and Kurdistan might be very different from USA. But meanwhile, when you use ChatGPT, or if you use an application in, I don't know, for psychiatry or treatments or personal development, you are relying on something that's coming from USA that might not be applied completely here. That's also AI, and it doesn't need any AI engineers to kind of achieve that. Now ChatGPT is available for everyone to, with a few clicks, make an agent that can make a chatbot for you. That's a different subject for later, if maybe more technical, but the data part of it is the crucial thing that we think the whole revelation would start when we look at data as the product, not the AI as the product. AI would be the tool and your data as the product. Now there's this concept that says data as a product, like previously we had software as service, and you have data as the product. If you have a pipeline of designing and collecting data in a purposeful way, that it's only solving and answering the questions for a specific domain. That process of packaging your data, layouting the data, designing it to solve one particular question, that is not only profitable locally, that can also be profitable and a business idea for global enterprises. Gemini, for example, doesn't have access to all of your problems locally. They don't even have the data. And especially for a society like that, this is an advantage because we are not good in collecting and storing our data. We are not that professional yet. Even in our personal lives, we don't rely on statistics, our financial tracks, or I don't know, our behaviors. In our universities, we don't rely on that much tracking. We are going through this digitalization process. But this is, again, an advantage because now you have the control to, from scratch and starting right now, to know exactly how to design your workflows and your patterns that you collect data. You don't need to be a developer. You can be an active participant in collecting and shaping the data that we have currently and in the past to build a positive future. So basically, I almost said everything that I had to without changing the slides, but your role in the future is don't chase the AI, create meaningful data. To create meaningful data, by that we don't only mean you can collect data, you can also be a source for creating and designing data. One example is, for example, right now, if we have our media agencies or news media agencies, when you are writing an article, there are many ways that, for example, when our journalists or our websites are entering the data on their websites, can just blankly write the news. But if you are thinking in a digital approach and more professional way, if you're adding the image, you have to enter the alt, for example, for each image. So that could be a description of the image in Kurdish. The AI in future can learn from that. This, for example, image here or that item in the image belongs to that Kurdish thing. Or the Kurdish name, for example, for that item means this part that you added in your article. It's not something for a normal viewer to look at the image and find out what is the intention behind the image. But the AI can understand, and then that could be used for us in make any AI tool much easier to use, more informative and much more accurate. These are simple advices that as a society, when we take in consideration, it will help us have a better future and more advanced AI solutions for us ahead. Our data and our past is our destiny. Basically, I wanted to say that and have this as a point that we should take more care of our data, what we design and what we generate in every day of our lives. Social media is something that we are every day an active participant of it. We can be more careful on what we are posting and how we are posting it. When we are in an organization working, we should be more careful on how we are storing the data and be more considerate of how it can in future help us. Thank you so much.